welcome back for another workout. Today we will be working through a core workout for your abs, pre and postnatal friendly, although I will give you some notes as we go through. And all you'll need for today's workout is your box. So you're going to pop on one light spring on your machine, one light spring, and we're going to pop our box in between our carriage and our stopper. So depending on the model of your machine, you might need to put your foot bar down or push that foot bar forwards. Otherwise, the easiest way to do this, you're going to grab your box, one knee on your moving carriage after you've popped your one light spring on. Slowly slide that carriage out so you've got a gap between the carriage and the stopper, and then you're going to place your box in a short box position, balancing on the railings, just making sure there's an even overhang of the box on either side of your reformer so it's not going to tip. And then once you're happy with where the box is, you can bring that carriage to close on that box. Now our first exercise today, let's work through a wheelbarrow set. So coming to kneel on your carriage facing your box, your feet can come up against your shoulder blocks and your forearms are going to come down onto your box, maybe clasping your hands or fingers over the side of your box, whatever feels good. Just double check your knees are about under the line of your hips. You might need to slide that carriage out slightly to find that position, and your shoulders are over your elbows. That's what they're called. Lengthen out that neck, pull that belly button up towards your spine. Just your knees are going to slide that carriage out to find your half plank position. So keeping your shoulders over your elbows. And then exhale to draw your knees back under your hips. So just starting nice and slow, nice and easy with this one. Inhale, slide that carriage out. Send your knees away, lower the hips. And exhale to pull those knees back under your hips. Inhale, slide away. And exhale, return. If this is feeling good, let's add on. Inhale, slide away. Find that half plank position. One long straight line from the top of your head to your hips to your knees. You're going to slide that carriage out, hinging at your shoulders this time. So your shoulders leave the line of your elbows. Pull those shoulders back over your elbows and then draw those knees back under your hips. Go again. Inhale, find your half plank. Exhale, wheelbarrow, hinge from your shoulders, slide away. Inhale, shoulders back over elbows, and then draw that carriage back in lastly. Inhale, half plank. Exhale, wheelbarrow, keeping that tailbone tucked. Draw your shoulders over your elbows, and then exhale, knees under hips. Inhale, half plank. Exhale, wheelbarrow. Inhale, shoulders over elbows, and exhale, return. Nice, give me one more just like that. Warming up through the core here. And then let's take that rest out of the movement. Let's just work through our wheelbarrows now. So find that half plank position. Make sure those shoulders are pulling away from your ears. Retuck that tailbone for me. So keep coming back to that form. This time, inhale, shoulders leave the line of your elbows, find your wheelbarrow, and exhale, pull those shoulders back over your elbows. Go again. Inhale to slide away, find that wheelbarrow, and exhale to pull in. So it doesn't have to be a huge movement. Focus on keeping that nice long straight line from head to your heels. Just sliding out until you feel that core start to have to work to hold you there. Maybe a little moment in your end range. And then you can come back in for a reset. Nice. So if you're feeling good here, I've got one last layer. The next time you come into that start position, shoulders over elbows, hold it here. Can you bring your left hand down to your box? Your right hand plants on your box. Find your half plank with hands on your box. Then you're going to bring your left elbow down, right elbow down, and go for another wheelbarrow. Inhale, slide out, find your wheelbarrow. Exhale, draw those shoulders over your elbows. Inhale to come up, find your plank. Elbows come back to that box, and then come in for another wheelbarrow. Lovely. So one commando, hands to the box, elbows back down, one wheelbarrow. You can take this as slow as you like. In fact, the slower you go, the better. Give me 3 more. Still moving with that breath. 2 more. Nice job. Now the next time you find that wheelbarrow, let's hold out and just pulse in our outer range. So find that nice strong half plank first. Inhale to slide that carriage away, find your wheelbarrow. Exhale in a couple inches, inhale out. Exhale in, exhale out. You're here for 8. Good job. If you'd rather just hold your half plank, shoulders over elbows, that is absolutely fine, particularly if you are freshly postpartum or quite far along through your pregnancy. Good job. Here for 5. Keep that belly button pulled in. Here for 4. Relax those shoulders. Last 3. Chin off your chest. Last 2. And then you can pull your shoulders over elbows. Knees all the way in on 1. Good job. Come to sit on your heels. Nice big stretch. Maybe a little side over. Maybe a little twist. Beautiful. We're going to come into a little side plank. So you can stay on your 1 light spring. You can keep your box where it is. You're going to come to kneel on your carriage, probably about halfway down. And let's face the left side of our machine first. So your right shoulder is towards your box and your left shoulder is towards your shoulder blocks and the back of your machine. Place your right forearm down on that box. So the forearm is in line with the long edge of that box. You're going to bring your hips up and slide that carriage away to find your your side plank, your kneeling side plank. You can keep your left hand just down on that box for a little bit of support while we get set up. I want you to check your form here, check your position on the box and the carriage. So your right shoulder is directly over that right elbow. Your knees are about in line with your hips. And just check that top hip is stacked on top of that bottom one. So you don't have that top hip rolled backwards or too far forwards. Same with that top shoulder. You're squeezing through that right oblique to keep those hips nice and lifted so you're not collapsing down. Keep those hips nice and lifted. If you're feeling good here, maybe can you bring that top hand up towards the ceiling? Can you give me a little pike with those hips? So on your exhale, cinch through that right side of your waist. Pull that left hip up towards the ceiling. Maybe that carriage comes in towards the box a little bit. And then inhale to release. Go again. Exhale, pulse up. And inhale to release. Exhale, pulse up. Feeling this in the right side, that lower side of your waist. And inhale to lower. Good job. Now take a little reset whenever you need to here, particularly if that shoulder is starting to burn. Otherwise, let's start to layer up. Can you give me a little thread the needle? So the next time you lower the hips into that side plank, hold here. Take that top hand, thread it underneath your body. Maybe your gaze follows. Open back up to find your side plank, and then give me that little pulse, that little pike up and down. One, thread the needle, under and unroll, hips to the ceiling and lower back down. Nice. You're here for a count of 10. Good job. You're here for 8. Use that breath. Nice. See how far you can get that carriage in towards the box each time you pike up into that side plank. Good job. Here for 4. Here for 3. Here for 2. Find your side plank on 1 just to hold, and then you're done for 5. Nice job. Can you give me little pulses in and in for 4? Good. Oh, shoulder is starting to burn. Last 3. Last 2. And you can come all the way in on 1. Oh, nice work. Come to sit on your heels. Give that right shoulder a nice roll out. Let's get it over and done with on the other side. So turn around on your carriage. This time your left shoulder is towards the box and your right shoulder is towards those shoulder blocks. Left forearm is going to come down onto your box, parallel with the front edge of that box. You're going to bring your hips forward and slide that carriage out to find your side plank on this side. Maybe you have that top hand on your box for support. Maybe it reaches up towards the ceiling. Double check your supporting shoulder is over that supporting elbow. Hips are square, shoulders are square, and give me that little cinch through that left side of your waist. We start with those pikes. So exhale, cinch the waist, lift that right hip, carriage slides slightly in, and then inhale to find your side plank. Exhale, little pike, little pulse, and inhale, slide away. Good job. So each time you pike, cinching through that bottom side of your waist. So thinking into that left oblique this time. Nice. You can keep your top hand on that box for support if you need to. Otherwise, let's add on that thread the needle if it was there on the other side. So the next time you find your side plank, top hand threads underneath your body. Maybe gaze follows those fingers. Open back out, find that side plank. 1 pike, carriage in, and slide back out. 1, thread the needle, pike up, and return. Keep breathing normally. Keep lifting out of that supporting shoulder. You're here for a count of 10. Maybe starting to notice how this left oblique feels a little different to the right one. So maybe it feels like your stronger side. Maybe it feels like your not so strong side. Same with that left shoulder. Is it starting to burn a little bit more quickly on this side, or are you feeling a bit more stable? Nice. Here for 5. Good. Last 3. Last 2. And the next time you're in your side plank, just holding here for 5, can you pulse that carriage in and out for 4, for 3, cinch that left side of your waist for 2. Good job, and 1. Come all the way back through center. Knees back down to that carriage and slide that carriage all the way in. Take your knees nice and wide, your heels to your bum, and maybe reach those hands out towards your foot bar. And a little mini child's pose over that box. Amazing. You have one more exercise So you can keep that box where it is and you're staying on that one light spring. You're going to spin yourself around to face the back of your machine. Your knees are going to come up against your shoulder blocks and you're going to reach your hands forward for the railings. And again, let's just check our position here. I want your shoulders to be over your wrists, so you might need to slightly lean forward to get into that position. And I want you to keep your shoulders directly over your wrists for the rest of this exercise. Spread your shoulder blades nice and wide across your back, tuck that tailbone under. I want you to think about using your lower abs to exhale, pull your knees, pull that carriage in to tap your wrists, and inhale to release. Exhale, pull that carriage in, and inhale to release. Exhale, pull knees to wrists, and inhale to release. Good job. Keep moving. A couple of notes here. If you are maybe in your 3rd trimester and that bump is getting a little bigger, that baby is growing, this might feel a little squishy. So if it does feel too strainy or you're feeling like your knees are squishing your bump as you pull in, a couple of options for you. You can walk your hands just a little bit further down towards the foot bar, and that's going to take a little bit of work out of the movement. If you're feeling still a little bit squishy after you've repositioned your hands, you might want to leave this one out just until you're postpartum, just because we don't want to be squishing that baby. Nice job. So feel free to dome that back here. And then option, see how this feels in your body. The next time you pull that carriage in, wrists or carriage to your wrists, can you hold it nice and still? Weight comes into your left knee. Can you start to hover your right leg, send it back behind you, keep that carriage nice and still. Tap your right knee back down to your carriage, shift your weight into that right knee. Extend your left leg back behind you, that carriage is still. Left knee returns back down to that carriage, and then you return that carriage back down to the start position. Exhale, pull that carriage in. Right leg extends, don't let that carriage move. Nice job, place it back down. Left leg extends long. Place it back down, and then inhale all the way to that start position. Exhale to pull. 2 extensions. Keeping that belly button pulled up towards your spine. Woohoo! And then take a reset. If it's feeling a little bit too intense to go for those leg extensions, you just leave them out. Keep working through your reverse crunches. Take a little roll out of those wrists whenever you need to. And control is the name of the game here, so try work through this exercise as slowly as you can. Are those shoulders still over the line of your wrists? Good, so notice as I pull in, I'm not bringing those shoulders any further forward than my wrists. That turns this into a little bit of an arm exercise. So shoulders stay over your wrists, it's your knees that move, pulling that carriage in. Nice job. Can you stay here for a count of 10? This is our last exercise. Thinking into those muscles that are working here, so thinking into those lower abs. And I know it's really hard, because watch me, but as best you can, try keep those hips nice and even, yeah?
Try not to rock from side to side. Oh, you're doing amazing. Shoulders are burning here as well. That deep core, all about control, all about balance. Give me 2 more reps. Keep those shoulder blades nice and wide across your back. Last one. Beautiful job, team. I want you to return that carriage in. Take a really quick reset of those wrists. Just a quick little roll out before we head into our finisher. I know this one is a little tough on those wrists. You've got about a minute worth of work left and then we are done. So reset, and for our finisher, your challenge is to bring those hands a little further up those railings towards the back of your machine to make that a bit more challenging, yeah? Shoulders over wrists, tuck that tail, spread your shoulder blades wide. One last time on your exhale, pull your knees in to tap your wrists, hold that carriage there. Inhale to release a couple inches, exhale to pull it back in. Inhale, release a couple inches only, exhale, pull it in. So just working our top range pulse here. Good job. If you want to make this a bit more challenging, if you've got a little bit left in the tank, walk your hands slowly up that carriage, a little bit further away from your foot bar, from that stopper. Hey, Ralph. Nice job. Oh, here for 5, here for 4, here for 3. On to pull that carriage in and hold. Spread those shoulder blades wide again, tuck that tail, belly button pulls up towards your spine. Just a hold for 6, for 5. Nice, keep that carriage at your wrists for 4. Nice deep breaths for 3, for 2. And you can slowly return that carriage all the way down on 1. Amazing, bum to heels. Take another child's pose. Hey kitten. Well done, roll those wrists out. Beautiful. And that is all done. That's the hard work of your class all done. So take a quick little stretch out with me, a little side over, maybe a little twist, maybe a little stretch out for those shoulders. So you can interlace those fingers behind your back, reach backwards for that foot bar, looking up towards the ceiling. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Maybe lowering your chest down towards your knees. Knees are nice and wide to make room for that bump if you still have one. And then reset with that nice little shoulder roll. And neck stretch from side to side. Good job. I hope that got that deep core working. Let me know if you enjoyed, if there's anything else you'd like to see. Otherwise, I will see you in the next workout. Well done.